go for events, go to exhibitions.
See what people are doing.
Yeah, sometimes you can tie yourself inside the house, create products and feel like, wow, this is amazing. But when you step out, you meet the experts and they challenge you,
Yeah. Mercy Achieng is an educator and founder of the Etsirbella Scholarship, a community initiative transforming the lives of underprivileged children in Kibera through holistic education-based support.
We have around 6 programs within the scholarship program. The first one, of course, it's the Bring the Child to School, basically focused on helping underprivileged children.
She also leads Etsirbella Designs Limited, where every purchase helps fund a child's education. Passionate about empowerment and creativity, Mercy is using innovation to break the cycle of poverty and inspire a lasting change in her community.
The whole idea of me looking into spaces where I can be able to mingle with other women, share my story with them, get to know how do we work together. I wouldn't be able to have the exposure I have right now.
We met at the Positive Circles lunch.
Yes, the brunch one.
Yeah, it was really nice to meet you there. Mm-hmm. And when you started telling me a little bit about your story, I was like, I knew I need to have her on. So thank you for coming.
Thank you for inviting me over.
Yeah, I'm really excited. Appreciate it. Awesome.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask first about the work that you do and just ask, what's the most fulfilling moment that you've had in the work that you do?
I think I would say I feel so fulfilled when I'm able to realize the achievement of my goals, because I am a results-oriented person. Mm-hmm. I enjoy doing something and seeing the results. So every time I venture into working with children and working with their parents, considering the fact that they're in an underprivileged community, I enjoy to see that we try to do something with them, we try to help them. I tried to reach out maybe to a family member and we were able to see the results, or rather the outcome. That gives me so much fulfillment because I know that we are not doing this in vain. At the end of the day, it's able to bring back fruits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think part of what you do, the results are so impactful.
Yeah, sure.
And so I'd imagine that you get quite a bit of fulfillment from that.
Yes,
yeah.
Actually, I do. There's a time we had, we started a fund drive for shoes, school shoes.
Yeah.
It's because we had noticed a lot of children were coming to school with Crocs, spoiled shoes. The shoes were in a very devastating situation.
Yeah.
And I thought, why not? I know this comes alongside with the scholarship program that I run.
Yeah.
And I thought it would be amazing to just get people to find school shoes for children, because some of them also come from very far. So it will definitely be amazing to step in and help them acquire shoes for school, which does not only contribute to them having resources and the tools they require to access education, but also it gives them dignity because they deserve to be equal with any other child at school. And that gives them the comfort they deserve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So before we dive deep into your organization, Etsirbella Scholarships and Etsirbella Accessories.
Yes.
I wanted to take it back because part of your why has a lot to do with your upbringing.
Yes, definitely.
So I wanted to talk about that. I wanted to talk about you growing up in Kibera, what that was like. Maybe you can take me through a day in your childhood, maybe when you were 8 or 9. Tell me about what it was like.
Yeah, so I've grown up in Kibera and it's been crazy. I think to some people, they might think it is normal. Because for all of us who have grown up in Kibera, we tend to get used and adjust to the kind of life we have grown up in. And so I remember when I was young, I used to school in the local schools around Kibera. I schooled at Toi Primary School until around grade 6. Then grade 7 and 8, I moved to another school, a boarding school, but still in Kibera. So we would wake up in the morning like any other child, get dressed up, and head to school. But before going to school, there were challenges, encounters, things like breakfast weren't assured. It was like a privilege, And uniform, just being able to like put on a good school uniform was also a privilege. And being able to walk safely to school, the distance we used to cover as well wasn't so easy. So I would say
Was the
probably
school within Kibera?
yes, the school was within Kibera.
Okay.
We would walk for quite a distance, especially for my age at that time. And my sibling was too young. My brother was too young. So I wouldn't say he would escort me to school. I had to find my way through the garbage and the trenches and just walk up the hill, down the hill, up to school. So we would take a shower outside because our bathroom was outside. And sometimes it would be so dirty, like it would have even the snails, it used to scare me so much. Like maybe a snail would even fall on my body when I'm taking a shower. So I would walk. I would walk to some corridor, find a place where I could shower. And this was normal for like all of us who were staying around that area because we were like around 40 households in that one plot. And the bathroom was only one, the toilet was only one.
So you were sharing a toilet with 40 households?
Yes, around 40 households. Like they use the same toilet and it's a pit latrine. This means that at some point it would get full. And if it's not like reduced by the decongesting guys, then it would mean that we have to continue using the same toilet in the same way because at some point you're pressed and there's no other option, you have to figure it out. And I think that is why most of the places in Kibera, there's so much garbage, there's, just a lot of dirt because the process of just disposing the dirt is not really assured. So I would take a shower outside. Sometimes I'm running late because there are many people who need to shower and you need the privacy. Maybe the one small bathroom is full. There are so many people and it would really get crazy. And sometimes even with the uniform, I remember there's a time I only had one uniform. So I remember there's a time I washed the uniform. I placed it outside. There was such a notorious dog. I think it used to like pull clothes outside the wire line. Off the wire line and just run with it away, go play with it. And one day I faced the same trauma. It pulled my uniform and just ran with it. And after taking the shower, I couldn't find my uniform on the wire line. I had to borrow a friend, like my closest friend that used to stay around with me. And the one she had also was, it was so spoiled. Like it was torn at the back. And I had to wear it, but also cover up myself with a sweater, because of the embarrassment of just being a girl in a uniform that does not bring dignity and, the comfort that you want when you're going to school. So I would say I've had a really rough time, challenging time, and also just full of experiences as a young girl and exposure, which I take positive because that is what has shaped me into the kind of person I am today and my perspective towards life. And I've also learned to just appreciate every little thing that comes my way because I know it's not easy to get that, including the luxury of breakfast. Right now people have so much exposure, even with their children. You can set the table. It looks like a buffet, right now. But at our times, during my times, even breakfast, it will just be like hot water and maybe the sugar is not there. So you just console yourself. You take the tea and, you have to go to school. You have a long day ahead.
Yeah. And in that mind, in your mind as an 8-year-old or a 9-year-old, were you aware? Were you aware that how you were living, were you aware that you lacked and how you were living wasn't... I think what I'm trying to say is when I heard your story, you didn't actually go into detail because you kind of thought it was normal.
Yes.
So at what point did you realize that you were lacking when you were a kid? Or was it later on as an adult when you were like, oh, that's not normal?
I think the normalcy keeps getting different every other time as we continue growing. That's when you realize that, we used to do this when we were young. When you're a grown-up, it feels like such an experience that you went through. But when I was young, I didn't feel like I was lacking anything because I knew I had the assurity of having my parents around. At least I had both of my parents until now, which is something I can be grateful for. Because I knew even if I'm sent school fees, which
Yeah.
was something that was happening many times, I had someone to run to,
Yeah.
I knew my parents are there. But when I continued to grow up, that's when I realized that, my childhood, there was a lot of insufficiency, from school fees to food to the comfort to dignity to the kind of things that other people use and take as luxury. We never had that opportunity. Right now, I would be able to provide a bicycle for my son, skates, take him out and have a budget of even like 10 to 20,000 for him only. But during our time, I never had the exposure of riding a bicycle,
Yeah.
until now, I've never
Yeah.
been able to do it.
Yeah.
Because now I think I have the trauma of maybe I'll fall down or something will happen. And also things like good school shoes, we would go to the Mtumba stores, get the second-hand shoes, and it would be the cheapest,
Yeah.
the cheapest shoes, because at the end of the day, what we are looking at is just having something to keep you going, not necessarily something that is cute, something that makes me feel happy, but at least there's something. I have shoes. When everyone else
Yeah.
talks about shoes,
Yeah.
at least I have something. When we are talking of uniform, it might be torn, it might be short, it might be old, but at least I have the uniform.
Yeah.
So I think when I grow up, that's when I'm realizing that I didn't have a lot of things when I was young.
Yeah.
I didn't have even the exposure, like mingling with the rich kids and getting to know how is their life. It would be so intimidating. So we would hang out by ourselves and just, take life the way it is.
Yeah.
And we got used to that and adjusted to the fact that that is life and
Yeah.
that's our life. That's
Yeah.
what we've found ourselves in. And we have to accept things the way they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what was school like for you at that time? Did you enjoy school?
Yes, I enjoyed school, but I think I got bullied many times because I was a slow learner. I'm quite a slow person when it comes to understanding, comprehending. Like I take time to understand things before I respond. And so school was quite fun, quite interesting, making new friends and just enjoying life at school. But in terms of academic, I had a few challenges here and there. And that is the reason why my parents moved me out from Toy Primary. They were like, no, this girl needs to get a better place. And they really sacrificed, for sure. Like the difference between the school I was and the school I went to in terms of school fees, there was a very big difference. But I didn't know how my parents were going to be able to do that.
Yeah.
But I thanked God because there was quite a very big improvement. When I left the other school to the other boarding school, which was Soweto Academy, there was a very big improvement, and I really enjoyed the results of what took me there as a child as well. I knew my parents had an intention of doing that, but I think the experience was quite good. Yeah, at some point I remember I fell ill and it really disrupted my learning.
Yeah.
And I couldn't be able to get treatment because they needed me to go and get an x-ray for my back. And I wasn't able to afford that together with my parents. So we stayed with the condition until when I was able to go back to school. So it was quite an experimental kind of life. We had a lot of experiences as well.
And what did your parents do at the time? Your mom and your dad?
At that time, my mom was a teacher at some point until when I was around in when I was going to grade 1, that's when we transitioned and she started her own project. And my dad has been a pastor for a very long time. I think I would say up to now, even though he's growing out of that because he's getting tired with all the ministry work. But that's what they were doing at that time. Yeah, my mom started a school somewhere along the way and my dad was a pastor.
So your mom being a teacher, starting a school, I assume that's what informed your journey and where you started.
Yeah, I think I had a lot of ambitions when I was growing up. And if I told you that at some point I wanted to be part of the cabin crew until an accident happened and I thought, no, I don't want to be part of this in my future life. And I also wanted to be a journalist, just report news. I think I liked the cute careers that require you to look cute before you go to work, But at some point, my mind kept changing. And alongside the way I wanted to do fashion design, but my parents were like, no, that doesn't have a lot of opportunities in terms of career. And they were intentional about it and they pushed me into education, which is something I didn't really intend to do, but I thought, why not? At least there is a unit that I would love. That was English literature. So I went and did a degree in education arts. I specialized in English literature and a little bit of physical health, like the PE. And I think the reason why I went to PE was not just because I wanted to add a learning area that I would specialize in, but also because they would go for swimming, you know? So I was like, I've never gone for swimming the rest of my life, and I can't walk out of campus before
Without
I even
swimming.
Yes, I've not had an opportunity to ride the bicycle, and now I have an opportunity to go for swimming because I can't miss out on everything. So when I went to do physical health education, one of my major reasons was to learn how to swim and get the exposure in sports that other people, we are missing out on that. Because for a child to even be able to be absorbed as a player, even let's say football, ligindogo, you have to pay like lots of money for them to be trained. And so those are the kind of privileges we never used to have. So when I went to campus and I was like, what else can I do that can just make my life a little bit more fun? I thought physical health education would be appropriate because now I went for hiking for the first time. I went for camping. I did the swimming lessons. We did badminton, soccer, netball.
So you ended up enjoying it.
Yes, I really, really enjoyed that. And it gave me a little bit of fulfillment, just a replacement of the joy I missed when I was young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you finished university in education?
Yes, I finished university in the year 2016. That's when I graduated.
Okay.
Yeah.
So thereafter you started teaching a little bit?
After my Form 4 in 2008, I had already started teaching.
Oh, you did?
Yes, practically because our school was already in existence.
Okay.
The one we are running as a family, it was already
the one
there.
your mom
yes,
started?
the one my mom started.
Okay.
The school was already existing. And of course, as a girl within the community, if you don't get something to do right away, there's a high probability you would end up maybe joining the bad company, maybe getting impregnated or just deciding to get married. You'd end up even engaging in activities which are not healthy for a girl within a community, and especially for girls who grow up in disadvantaged communities. That is likely to happen. So for me, because my parents were already running the school and my mom was into it, she was like, you can come and teach while we wait to see where the opportunity opens, because there was no guarantee that I was going to university.
Yeah.
There was no guarantee that I was going to get any training. I just knew that because my parents have a school, maybe let me go teach there and see what comes up while I'm still teaching.
Yeah.
So I used to teach English, CRE,
to little
sciences.
Ones?
Yes.
How old were they?
I think I would say they're less than 13 years.
Okay.
Yes, between the ages of 3 to 13 years.
And how did you know how to teach at that point? Because you're in high school, right?
Yes. I think normally we go with the subject that you like. And I used to like English so much and a little bit of CRE because I've grown up in a Christian family.
Okay.
And so I just blended in, I would get the teacher's guides, the books, and read through and see what can I be able to do? Because at the end of the day, if you're a talkative person or maybe someone who is able to express themselves, then communication with the children should actually flow.
Okay.
So it wasn't that so much of a hard task.
Yeah.
And I knew that is where I would only start from. And then eventually, as I proceeded, that's when they were able to give me an opportunity to get into the office, now help with administration and all those kind of activities.
So you helped out with your parents throughout high school. You were doing that, I'm assuming, over the holidays.
Yes.
You would help the school with your parents.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so after university, you continued to help your parents?
Yes, I continued helping, but now I wasn't teaching.
Okay.
Because at that time, I think there was a little bit of improvement in terms of even status. People now respect you a little bit more because the teachers who are there, not many of them have
degrees.
Yes, they don't have degrees. So they felt like now I think it's a beautiful opportunity to expose her to the office work. Because she's old enough as well. And that is what happened. And I was able to stay in the office, learn a few things to do with accounting. Now, because we didn't have a lot of employees, I was playing a lot of roles from HR, to secretarial,
right.
administrative, you're the one doing almost everything.
Yeah.
But of course, under the supervision of my mom.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you were really exposed to how to run a business at that point. That's kind of where you learned the ropes. Mm-hmm. Straight after university, you were kind of forced into learning how things worked in the
Yes,
business.
yeah.
Yeah.
I did that actually. I was already exposed. I was able to see how my parents were running things. And of course, it wasn't easy, especially in terms of being received, like
Yeah.
the reception from the rest of the teachers. Because normally when you work somewhere, you expect that maybe you're the one who will be promoted to the office and all that. So when they see the boss has brought the daughter, now she's the one in the office, the reception wasn't really good because I needed to give them a few instructions here and there. And
I assume a lot of them were
yes,
older than you,
yes,
right?
definitely.
And so,
Even up to now, a few are still older than me, but now things keep changing every other year. Yeah, so
Okay.
I got the exposure a little bit, not so much because the system wasn't very stable, but I could be able to tell what goes where.
Okay.
Yes.
And so at what stage did you start Etsirbella Fashions? Etsirbella Accessories?
Yes, I had already trained somewhere along the way, and I got a donor who had seen the interest in me, and they knew that this girl is a lot more into fashion than
Sorry,
even
a donor.
education. Yes, she used to like volunteer to work at our school. She was a white girl, so she was like, when she looks at me, before I even went to university in the year 2011, she used to see the desire, the fashion desire in me. And she was like, can I pay a course for you? Like, even if it's a certificate, I was so excited. I was like, why not? Because this is something I wanted to do. So I
Yeah.
went and did a certificate for 1 year. And of course, that is when, after the certificate, that's when I went now to university. So when I came out of university, there was the whole pressure of me now beginning to make money. And my
Right.
parents would look at me and they're like, yeah, we've given you an opportunity here, but we are struggling financially even to pay the teachers. That means paying you won't be a guarantee.
Yeah.
And so you have to find something else you are able to do and just take care of your finances as well and be stable financially. So I thought, I have the fashion knowledge. Why don't I make use of this opportunity to start creating a few items, because I love to create. And that's how I started in the year 2016. 2017, after graduating, that's when I started venturing into trying to create a few things here and there. And I wouldn't say I started with what I'm doing right now, because at that time I had been taught how to sew. So I was sewing curtains, throw pillowcases.
I love that.
Yes. And it was so amazing just to create products and see them come to pass. And people are like, wow, where did you know how to do all this? It was crazy. It was so awesome. But then finances were not coming in as expected, though I really tried to push it because I'm very consistent with what I do. I love being consistent and patient to see the results. So I kept going. I was doing the business and also helping my parents run the school at the same time.
So you were doing a lot of curtains and things like that.
Yes.
Did you start accessories?
Accessories, I started doing accessories in the year 2022, 23 there.
Okay.
I did a little bit of accessories during the time when I was starting the business, but I think I was not getting the right source, where to source for materials. I didn't even know where to get the materials. So I was struggling to like put things together, especially in terms of accessories. But for curtains and pillows, we had already been given an exposure during training of where the shops are, where we can access the fabrics and all that. So that wasn't really hard. But for the earrings and necklaces, I really had to dig deep. And I didn't get an opportunity to get a phone, like access to any digital, machinery or tool to like help me maneuver the social media and see what people are doing.
Yeah.
Because I remember I stayed without a phone all the way until after Form 4. And that's when I was like getting the first phone, not even from my parents, from a well-wisher who was like, hey, this girl is now grown up. She needs a phone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's when I got a phone. It wasn't able to like access the internet. It was just the very small phone, but it helped me communicate, even with my friends, catch up here and there. And I think that is when I realized I needed to just get even a good phone to be able to check what people are doing, where to source for materials. And I think by around 2022, 23, that's when I was able to like reach out to the places where I was able to get resources for making earrings and necklaces.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so what you were making the accessories yourself.
Yes, I was learning on YouTube, on, just social media, checking what people are doing. I didn't even know which tools I needed to make the earrings, but eventually I was able to figure it out. And the first earrings I used to make were crazy.
Yeah.
They were not cute.
I'm sure they were. Did you manage to sell them?
Yeah, I did.
sold them.
I was selling them at a very throwaway price.
Yeah.
And I think there's one of my friend, high school, a friend I met, like we were together in high school. So I remember she purchased like around 8 earrings, because they were so cheap, but they really looked nice to her. She was like, I want like 8 pairs. And I was so happy. I was like, can I get
wow.
someone else who can buy like this, So I think looking back, I wouldn't say they were cute.
Your friend bought them. We all need a friend like that, though.
But
who's going to support us.
Yeah. Yes. So I was really happy. But now with time, I've been able to like reach out to more opportunities of where I can source for materials. I'm able to see what other people are doing. And it's really incredible. It really inspires me.
Okay.
So it's just a journey of learning. Every other day, I get to learn what can I do to make this better.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so between your first accessories, your earrings, and now, what was happening in between? When did you get confident to make more accessories? And what point did you hire someone to help you make the accessories?
I think I would say I've been working alone for a very long time.
Okay.
And one of the things that also used to make me work alone, it's because I wasn't sure of even what I'm making.
But you did it. You did it. Even though you weren't sure, you did it.
I was like, how do I even start teaching someone how to do what I'm doing? Because it's imagination, it's creativity. It's like the thought that comes to your mind.
Absolutely.
And if someone else came in, I would be like, now how do I tell this one that it's imagination? It's something I'm creating. And in the process of creating, I get another idea. I forget about the original idea. I go to another idea. Yeah. So it would be difficult for me to work with someone. And I thought I should work alone until when I feel like I am now confident enough to like tell someone, this is where I source for materials and this is what we need to do. This is the measurement. These are the colors we can combine. And this is, this outfit can go with this accessory. Right now I can be able to explain all that. But it took me a lot of time to like work on myself, get the exposure I need on the internet, learn a few things here and there. Go for events, go to exhibitions.
See what people are doing.
Yeah, sometimes you can tie yourself inside the house, create products and feel like, wow, this is amazing. But when you step out, you meet the experts and they challenge you, Like you get to see other people are doing more incredible work than even what you're doing. But now you get to partner and learn more about how you can improve yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think just along the way, I realized I needed help. But that came recently.
Recently?
Yes.
How recently?
How recent? I would say this year.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
So you were making the accessories all by yourself up until earlier this year?
Yes, I've worked alone for a very long time. I've been trying to to like engage a few of the people around me, but perfection, the spirit of perfection is killing me.
But do you acknowledge that you're actually going to have to work with other people and get other people to do the work?
I've learned that I'm doing so much, like too many things. I can't be able to do these things alone. Like if I started listing the things I'm doing right now, there are so many.
Yeah.
So I thought of engaging other people. But when I bring other people on board, let's say we need to use glue to like attach a fabric. They would attach the fabric, but then you see the glue is popping out, and that would make me go mad. I'm like, why are you doing this? And I always felt like maybe it's because they are not the original owners of the vision. Like you want to create something that you can sell, take outside, and people feel like, yeah, this is really cute.
Yeah.
They don't see any error. But now for the people who are helping you, sometimes they just create it for the sake of, practicing. Like it's fun for them, but they don't look at the aspect of quality.
Yeah.
But of late, I've gotten someone that I'm trying also to train and engage in what I'm doing, just to be able to see them doing it in a more better way as well, so that I can be free to even pay attention to what I need to do to improve the business.
So Etsirbella, now, the proceeds of whatever you make, a portion of the revenue goes to sponsoring children's school fees.
Yeah.
When did you decide to merge that?
Yeah, I think I needed fulfillment.
Yeah.
And doing education alone wasn't giving me fulfillment because I would sit down and feel like, oh, maybe I need to look for a better job. Maybe go to the Ministry of Education. That might make me feel like I did education for something, you know.
But you could
Because-
have also easily just had your accessories business and
Yes.
run that and kept the profits or the proceeds for yourself and still do the work that you're doing with the scholarships and supporting children. So you turned that into this cause.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think, as I'm saying, I wasn't finding fulfillment in
Yeah.
education. And I thought, because I'm doing fashion, I'm creating products, why not merge these two things together? I've been working with children for a very long time, and I thought I would love to give back. I would love to support these kids. But now, because I'm not a rich person, how do I raise funds? You know, because for this project to keep maneuvering, you must find a way of sourcing for funds. And I didn't want to start like borrowing people money to start an initiative. So I said, I'm going to use my products to raise funds and support these children and see how it goes, because I'm so much into children and I enjoy the fact that I grew up having all these experiences which are now shaping me into somebody different, which means that education is something noble. And supporting other children to be able to access education also brings not only transformation, but also even the fulfillment part of it. And so in 2023, when I was creating the accessories, that's when the idea of scholarship and supporting children came in. And I introduced it in 2024 now, officially, and told guys, you know, this is what I want to do. I'm looking for people who would be interested to work with me. And let's see how this year goes. So 2024, the whole of it last year, we were piloting the project, but we did quite a lot of activities in the community. And we were able to get an exposure, even visiting exhibitions and talking to people, explaining to them the story behind, because doing it as a full-time business would have given me so much stress, I think. So when I do it as a way of supporting children, it makes me so happy because I can engage with children at that level, engage with their families, and also just get to see what it will result to, because transformation is the end goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit more about Etsirbella Scholarship Fund. When did that was established in 2024, you said?
Yes. Yeah.
And so now you're in the process of raising funds for tell me how the scholarship works firstly.
Yeah. So we have around 6 programs within the scholarship program, which for some people it's really crazy, because for some guys it's one initiative. Like if it's about the pads, they only raise funds for sanitary towels. And for us, we have like a whole package of 6 different programs we are doing. So the first one, of course, it's the Bring the Child to School. We call it like that. That is basically focused on helping underprivileged children who have hit a school-going age and they're not at school to be able to be enrolled. So we reach out to the community. We try finding where these children are. Probably some of them, like last year, we met children who are around 7 years, 8 years old, and they've not started school. So we thought the Bring the Child to School would be an amazing program to reach out to those children and help them get enrolled. So for now, we are partnering with one school in Kibera. That's where we get children and bring them there.
Bring them to that
because
school.
it's easier to monitor them and see the progress and get to see the challenges. Another program that we run within the scholarship is called Fikia Jamii. Now, Fikia Jamii in English is like reach out to the families. So we not only support the children at school, but we reach out to their families. We do home visits just to assess what other needs do these children have that could be hindering them from being comfortable at school. You know, many of us have been traumatized by what was happening within the community, and that could also be affecting the children we are supporting. We might support them in school and think, yeah, we've done something.
And it ends there,
and everything is okay. But when you visit the homes, you realize that there's more that is going. Because like last year, we visited a home that had been built on top of a sewage, you know, and the child would still come to school. So if you're teaching this child, you might think, yeah, we are helping them, of which we are. But when you go back home, you realize that there is so much more that is going on which you're not aware of. So Fikia Jamii reaches out to the families. And then we have Lishe Kamili. Lishe Kamili is like children being able to access a balanced meal while at school. So we help them, we pay for that as well. We help them access porridge at break time. Which serves as breakfast. You know, for some of us, we never used to get
Or the
that
only
breakfast.
meal.
Yes,
Or
it
the
could
only
be.
meal the whole day.
Yes, so we help them get the porridge at break time, and also at lunchtime we provide a meal for them, a hot meal for them. So for some of these kids, that's the only meal they are counting on. And we have been able to witness children who are actually packaging food that has remained at school, putting in containers, you know, because yeah, they are not sure if there'll be supper at home. And for us, we we might assume it's normal for us to have lunch and dinner and breakfast. But for them, they know that when I go to school, I'll get breakfast, I'll get porridge, even if the sugar is not enough in the porridge, but at least I'll be able to get porridge. And at lunch, there'll be a hot lunch, you know, because we provide both ugali and skuma wiki, the vegetables, and we provide them with the rice and beans. And also at some point, they take the usual githeri, the mixture of beans and rice. So for them, that is like, wow, you know, maybe at home, it's either you get it or you don't get it.
Yeah.
And so the Lishe Kamili helps the children to like get a balanced meal when they are at school, which is a really important thing for a child so that they can be comfortable and concentrate on what is going on in class.
Yeah.
And then another thing that we do is a women's empowerment program.
Yeah.
So that one, we have focused on the female parents of the children that we are helping. It's a program that brings them together at least once in a year. We are able to bring experts on board, maybe guys from banks to come and encourage them and educate them on matters of financial literacy. And we also get experts on mental health. They come and just talk to them. You know, life in the slum is difficult. You need encouragement, you need support, you need a social circle that can give you hope. And so we bring guys who are experts in matters of mental health. They talk to them, they encourage them, and just let them know how they can maneuver life even if they're in the slum. And besides that, we teach them income generating activities. Like this year, we brought a baker who was able to teach them how to bake.
I love that.
So by the end of the day, even though it was a learning process, but they were able to make bread, queen cakes, and a lot more, you know. It was just amazing to see the women feeling fulfilled and feeling like, I need to, you know, get to start a business now that I've learned baking. And then we also gave them a little bit of exposure on how to make liquid soap, which is an important thing, you know, not only for your own personal hygiene at the house, but also you can make soap and even sell it. And we even gave them information on how they can brand the packages and get them on shelves in the supermarket. And then besides that, we gave them an exposure on tailoring as well, which is something that is going on even right now. And we want to see them getting to a point where they're stable and they can be able to get even jobs in places like EPZ. Go and, you know, if you don't have your own machine, go and help with putting together pieces somewhere and get an income for yourself, because most of them are illiterate, I would say that. Maybe school dropouts, they need the skill. And besides that, also there was the jewelry. I gave them a little bit of knowledge on how to
Training
make
them.
jewelry and also crochet wigs.
Yeah.
So it's a program that is meant to educate the women and help them get income generating skills so that as we empower the children, they can be able to go back to the hands of empowered parents.
Yeah.
Because if a child has been empowered at school, they've had a meal, their day has been good, but when they go back home, they're falling into the hands of parents who are depressed. You know, someone who has been sitting in the house the whole day, they've not done anything, they're stressed. And now the child comes back and now they pour all the stress on the child, you know. So we are trying to also help them get a skill that can keep them balanced so that when the child comes back from school, something is good going on at home. You know, the atmosphere is not so bad.
I love that you're taking a holistic approach to supporting these children, because you're right. A lot of support comes in a one-dimensional way. So, for example, paying for fees, and it ends there.
Yeah.
But what about what they're going through at home and their
Yeah.
parents? So I love that.
Thank you. And then there's one more program. We call it the Kids Holiday Empowerment Program. Now, this one, we do it in November. We are actually preparing for it. This one empowers the children and prepares them for the 2 months holiday ahead of time and even in future, because the knowledge we give them can serve even in the future, just to prepare them on matters like children's rights, how to stay safe within the community, and how they can stay busy, without thinking of other bad things within the community. So I love the fact that they normally come in big numbers. We normally target ages 8 to 19 because the law enforcers and the guys who train in children's rights, they emphasize on ages 8 to 19, because those are the ones who are able to understand legal rights and what to do in case you're abused, maybe traumatized, raped within the community and those kind of things. So we do that during November for like 3-4 days to empower the children and prepare them for the long holiday ahead of time. And yeah, those are the major programs we do.
Amazing. That's amazing work that you're doing. I want to know, actually, for an organization like this, how do you get funding? How difficult or easy is it to get funding for an organization like this? And what proportion, out of all those methods of funding, what proportion is grants, well-wishers, maybe partnerships with corporations? Can you tell me about that a little bit?
Yeah, I think in terms of funding, as I had said, I had figured out that it would be difficult to sustain this program because it's not easy at all. Even for us to be able to just go for home visits, because for us to visit a home, we need like between 2,000 to 3,000 per home. And if we are having like maybe 14 kids, 20 kids, that's
a lot.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And we need to find ways of actually raising these funds. That's why I thought of merging the program with my designs, because that way when I explain the story to anyone outside there, they don't normally just buy the product. They buy the product and they also support the initiative.
Yes.
I've had cases where we've had visitors who are coming to visit us. They get to see the products. Maybe the product costs maybe 2,000, 3,000 shillings, but they end up buying the product at maybe 10,000. They're like, keep the rest of the money because you're doing something amazing with the children.
Yeah.
So that is how we get the extra funding to like manage the projects. And besides that, we get well-wishers who normally do one-time donations. Maybe at the end of the year during Thanksgiving ceremonies, they're like, oh, we can support this project.
Yeah.
We get those one-time donations. And I think during events, if we are really straining, we bring together partners. That's the importance of networking and reaching out to more people who work within the same, maybe momentum, I would call it like that. Like we work within the same career, or we support children, or we are doing a similar initiative. So we bring together partners and we assign them roles depending on what you're willing to support. Let's say if like right now we are doing an event today in the afternoon, we are doing an event with children. Today is the International Day of the Girl Child. So we have an event for the girls, and we are planning to supply them with sanitary towels, underwears, just some dignity hygiene pack for them. And so we bring together partners on board. Some bring the sanitary towels, some bring the panties, some come to mentor just to like encourage the girls, So partnerships also help events to run well, and the projects can be able to go through. Even during home visits, let's say one person decides, I'm going to buy the tissue papers for all the homes. That is, that's partnership at a different level.
For sure.
So that is what we normally do in terms of raising funds. And I wouldn't say it flows easily. It's been challenging. And that's why every time we have to like keep people updated of what we are doing and encourage them to support the project.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we are not doing it for ourselves. We are doing it for the community, just giving back and helping children enjoy life at school.
Absolutely. In starting Etsirbella Accessories, I'd imagine that now your goal is to scale that business.
Yes.
Enough to support the Scholarship Foundation as well. have you thought of how you're going to scale the business and just different ideas that you might have in order to keep the funding of the scholarships sustainable?
I am always thinking about that. I think one of the biggest challenge is stabilizing the business.
Yeah.
Just getting it stable. Like there's so much that I'm able to produce with the assistance, of
Yeah.
other people,
Yeah.
and maybe find a workshop. That is one of the challenges I have right now because I don't have a physical shop, or rather a workshop where we can actually produce the items in bulk. And also there are many opportunities to make funds through exhibitions.
Yes.
But the biggest challenge that comes with exhibitions is that the cost of just participating.
Absolutely.
Like
you have to pay for the stall.
Yes,
and
pay for the space and the tent. And, sometimes the space is not enough for you to display everything that you are doing.
Yeah.
And that becomes a challenge. So I think in terms of scaling up, I've already thought about that. But I would say the limitation right now is funding, which we must keep looking for the funds so that we can get to a point where now the business is stable, the income coming in can be able to not only sustain the people who are giving a helping hand, because there'll be employees at that time, of course, but also it's able to give back to the community what its intentions are meant for.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm thinking about that.
I know that you'll get the funding that you need if you keep going and keep.
Yeah.
And clearly, you have a very resilient spirit.
Thank you.
And you are consistent in what you do.
Yeah.
And I really look forward to seeing how the business grows and the scholarship fund grows. Are there any numbers that you can share with us in terms of how many children you've educated? And secondly, perhaps you can tell me if there's a mechanism that you have in order to track these children when they start on your program, go to school. I'm not sure how long you support them for. Are you able to track their progress as well moving forward, getting to high school and university?
Yeah, at the moment, our program is limited to only the children we are able to help at the primary level.
Okay.
This means that when they get to grade 6, because the school we are supporting only gets to grade 6, when they get to grade 6, we are not able to move forward with them to the higher level because of our insufficiency at the moment.
Okay.
But in terms of tracking where they are, because they are within the community, we are able to know where they're schooling because we also help them transition to high school. So we invite partners who are able to maybe support their high school education, and then some of them get those opportunities and they continue with that. So we know where they're schooling and we are able to visit them, get to know how they are doing. But now our support is limited to where they end while in primary school. But in terms of numbers, by last year, we had around 121 kids. These numbers showed up in that number because it's something that had never happened within the location that we are in. So they were like, yeah, sure, we have a lot of kids who are stuck within the community. Like there's a girl who is now in high school. Last year, she had stayed home for 2 years before completing her primary level.
Yeah.
So it was a step forward for her to just be able to continue with her high school. And besides that, we are able to tell how many homes we have been able to visit, in terms of numbers. By now, we have visited around 50 homes. Even through friends. And recently we went to 7 homes because we normally do it in batches. We are not able to visit all the homes at the same time. But in terms of schooling, we have over 100 kids.
Okay.
Yes, that are actually in the program. Yes, we are not thinking of bringing in some more at the moment because we want to move with the ones we have and see what God is able to do within those spaces.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how can we support you?
In terms of support,
Yeah.
we have the 6 programs. So we normally put it open so that anyone can chip in whichever way they feel like.
Okay.
Like for the schooling program, we normally encourage guys to support the education because we are paying fees for them. It costs around 4,600 per term. That takes care of not only the tuition, but also stationaries And then when it comes to Lishe Kamili, it costs 1,000 per term for the child to be able to access all the meals. And then for Fikia Jamii, it normally costs between 2,000 to 3,000 Kenyan shillings to be able to support a family for at least a month. I think the products, or rather the household items we normally gift them, can support them maybe through a month. So if we have to do that consistently throughout the year, it means for a home, we need 2,000 times 12 months, So we we normally put it open for anyone who wants to support.
Yeah.
They can either volunteer even to come and join us, visit the homes, or maybe bless the family with the household items, or give cash, like monetary gifts. And then for the holiday program, we have different activities for the children, which we normally facilitate. So we normally charge like 1,000 per kid. So someone can sponsor that in terms of just supporting a child be able to access that. And that goes into facilitation it goes into paying the facilitators who are running the program, and also the meals that they get to access during the holiday empowerment program. And for the Women's Empowerment Program, a package for training, it normally costs 5,000 shillings for them to train to a point of being able to run the skill by themselves. So we have social media handles where guys can reach out to us. And besides that, you can also purchase the product. That is also the biggest support, because now for that, we use it to raise the funds more than even the events that we are actually doing. Yeah, so we have a website, a scholarship website, which also has the shop inside there. So when you're seeing our stories, reading through our past stories, even success stories, you're also able to purchase a product through the same platform. So I believe that is how guys can support and also volunteer. Even volunteering is helping. Come and join us. And, we are able to do this together as a team when we do it in a multitude of numbers. And also partnerships. If there are organizations that maybe would want to partner with us at a different level, they are also welcome to do that.
Awesome. Thank you for that. Thank you for sharing that.
Mm-hmm.
I want to shift gears just a little bit.
Yes.
Maybe a little bit personal, but I'd imagine that the way that you've grown up has shaped how you feel about money.
Yes.
And so I want to know if there's anything that you can acknowledge today about how your upbringing has shaped your thoughts on money. Do you price your products in a certain way that you can kind of acknowledge? Maybe you're pricing them too low, too high. What would you say?
I think we've grown up in a scarcity mentality, whereby you just view things from the lowest of the lowest. Sometimes I think as I used to grow up, I used to bargain so much, and I would find it fancy. Like if I would tell someone, I bargained this product from 5,000 to 200 bob. And they would be like, wow, how did you do that? But then it wasn't because I wanted to bargain. It's because of the scarcity. I've grown up knowing that things are cheap and things need to be cheap, So that has shaped my pricing as well. Because now when I create a product, I look at it and I'm like, oh my God, maybe this is too much. And people would look at me like, that is too much money. Like, you've grown up in the slum. Why are you overpricing your item? Until when I got to understand that, there's so much that goes into pricing, from where you sourced the material to how much time, you even created the product. Because for some of these products, I have created and recreated, like you create, you realize, this is not what I want. You undo everything and start afresh. And that is consuming so much of my energy and time as well, my thoughts and creativity.
Absolutely.
And it costs a lot. And then the whole idea of now, how do I now distribute these funds to a point where I'm able to support this child and explain to someone that if you buy a product, let's say at 500 shillings, let's go the lowest, a sanitary towel costs 100 shillings. So out of this 500, I could be able to get maybe 2 sanitary towels. And then the 300 still needs to go maybe into buying fabric
You
to
have
replace.
to cover your costs.
Yes,
Yeah.
replace maybe what I have used. So I have been able to do that, but it's not easy because some people still bargain, especially the ones who know you.
Of course.
You know, a stranger would understand the story and buy the product at that price.
Absolutely.
But for friends, they're like, hey, would you make this lower for me? Because they know where you've come from and they feel like you're overpricing for no apparent reason for them, according to them. So it has contributed so much, but then I've learned also to hike the prices when I go to higher spaces.
Yeah.
Like maybe we are going for exhibitions at KICC, you know, I wouldn't sell the product at the same price because now we've paid for space. We need to like find a way of leveraging, you know, everything to balance and also be able to get what I need out of that as well. Because we have projects that are pending and they need funds, you know.
Yeah.
So it has really contributed into how I view money and also understand the fact that it's not easy to get even that money.
Yeah.
You know, so when we get the little we get, we really make good use of it and just appreciate the fact that we've been able to get that.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
a work in progress, that money
Yes.
mindset thing,
Yes,
isn't it?
it is.
It's gonna come with time, I think. But I think
Yeah.
a lot of women struggle with it.
Yeah.
And seeing their value, seeing the value they put into the product, we kind of get a bit modest.
Yes.
And yeah, but I understand. I absolutely
And even
understand where you're-
emotional.
yeah, and emotional about it
Yes.
as well.
Yeah.
But I completely understand where you come from and where you're
Yeah.
coming from.
Yeah.
But the work that you do is important. So I think putting a price on that
Yes.
is it's difficult. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah,
It
it's
is.
difficult.
Actually, it is.
Yeah. Okay, what's keeping you up at night these days with running the business? What do you think about a lot that you still need to resolve?
I think it's the whole idea of finding a permanent place.
Yeah.
Because the way I think when I'm creating from inside the house is very different with how I would think if I was in a workshop, you
Yeah.
know. Because inside the house, I have my son. He's very distracting, very hyper. Sometimes I get calls, random calls. Maybe a neighbor wants to ask something, they're knocking the door, and that distracts the whole thinking process
Yes.
while creating. And so the fact that I'm a school administrator at the moment, at the same time.
You have a job as well.
Yeah, so during the day I'm at work. When I come back home, maybe I have a client's work and I've already promised them I will deliver the next day.
Yeah.
So I have to stay up at night trying to figure out how I'll put her product together and present it in a way that she's expecting and how she has seen it on the internet. You
Yeah.
know, what you advertise versus what you're delivering. So I'm hoping that I'll get to a point where I have a workshop so that even if I'm not there, I can be able to instruct someone and tell them a client needs this product and we need to get it done by this time. And they are able to do it to satisfaction, you know, because creativity requires you to keep your game high because people are very judgmental when it comes to what has been made by hand
Yeah.
versus what has been made by the machine.
Yeah.
So sometimes you need people who can create a product that actually is very impressive and appealing. Someone would look at it and say, yes, this is worth my money, you know. And so I'm looking forward to have a workshop where I can get to employ people and they get to put their minds and creativity together so that I can also look at it and say, wow, this is incredible.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want someone that I have to tell everything, every single thing from scratch.
Yeah.
That is something I'll still have to do because I have to do orientation of what I do. But I would love someone creative, you know, someone who will come with their own creativity and say, you know, this thing, we can do it this way. And if we do it this way, I see the results and I'm like, wow, I've never thought of that.
Yeah.
So it's something that keeps me up at night. I'm always
Sure.
thinking about innovation, expansion, networking, stability, finding people I can trust and work with very well.
You'll get there though. I think
Yeah.
it's hard when you're growing or trying to scale organically, right?
Yeah.
But you'll definitely get to a point where you can leave it to other people and you can focus on the important things.
Yes.
Right? There's a lot that we take on as women the way we run businesses, we
Yeah.
like to do it on our own,
Yeah.
right? And at least we start on our own. And then it takes us a while to bring people on. Sometimes it's funds, but sometimes it's just our own control, our desire to control,
Yes.
and our perfectionism, as you
Yes.
mentioned earlier. But
Yeah.
you'll get it to a point where you need to focus on the important things. And that's part of that is obviously raising the funds that you need to support the children. And I think you'll get there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I trust. I trust God.
What's the greatest lesson that you've learned throughout this journey?
I think I would say this is also a way of advising someone, maybe who's looking up to me as well. Resilience is key,
Yeah.
and consistency is key. And there are seasons in life. We have to learn how to embrace different seasons of our lives. Because if you sit with me deep down, like if you take time with me, deep down there are a lot of things I've gone through, which I have not said on this platform, but they have shaped me into being a stronger person and a stronger version of myself. And that contributes to me acknowledging the fact that there are different seasons in life. There are times you will be way low than you expect. You will be so down and you will want to discourage yourself and maybe give up, and there will be no one for you. It will all be on you. So you have to learn to deal with that situation at that time and embrace it the way it is. Acknowledge the fact that it's teaching you lessons, which you will pick and have to keep running with them. And also, one thing I've learned that is that your social circle, the one you mingle with, contributes so much
It does.
into who you become eventually. Because if I would sit down and say, I already know how to create products and all I need is just to sell, I don't think I would be on this platform right now. But just the whole idea of me looking into spaces where I can be able to mingle with other women, share my story with them, get to know what are you guys doing to survive? What are you doing within your communities? How do we work together? I wouldn't be able to have the exposure I have right now. Otherwise, I think those are the major lessons I've learned. Understanding your seasons and embracing them, and also networking with other women. Look into spaces of women who have grown more than you. They might give you a lesson which you've never learned, especially for someone like me whose background is like there's so much limitation, and people look down on us. But when you step into other spaces, you realize that your story is also very different from what you're thinking. And people outside there would love to hear and would love to contribute, would love to partner and network. And those are the spaces we all deserve.
For sure.
Yes.
For sure. I love that.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, so we'll do the quick fire questions. What is your favorite piece of fashion that you've ever made?
My favorite piece of fashion is right behind you. Yeah, I love that piece so much.
Yeah.
Like just the whole idea of realizing that I can be able to create not only a necklace, but also a matching earring.
Yeah.
That's really amazing for
Yeah.
me.
So you like necklaces and earrings. Those are your favorite
Yes,
types
yes.
of accessories to make. If you could fix one systemic issue overnight, what would it be?
I think it's the patriarchal system in the community and how they view women. And I think it would be, what I would change basically would be how men view women in terms of roles, responsibilities, and even leadership. Yeah.
Awesome. If you could have lunch with a change maker, anyone, dead or alive, who would it be?
Oprah Winfrey.
Everybody loves Oprah.
Yeah. I think I would go with her
Okay.
for lunch.
One piece of advice that you would tell your 18-year-old self?
It's well. It happens for a reason. And it gets better with time.
Okay.
Yes.
Awesome. I think we can leave it there.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you as
I
well.
really appreciate you. I'm going to be watching you and I'm going to be supporting you.
Thank you.
And I really look forward to the progress that you make
Yeah.
and the funding that you raise and the impacts that you make, because I think your cause and your why and your mission is so important.
Thank you.
And I really admire the work that you're doing. I admire your strength and absolutely your resilience. It
Thank
really
you.
makes me feel like I am going to definitely refer to you a lot
Thank
when I
you.
feel low, because
you.
this conversation has put a lot into perspective for me, and I think it'll put a lot into perspective for a lot of women.
Sure.
Yeah.
I
So
look
thank
forward.
you.
Thank you so much for hosting me. I think I've enjoyed being here.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.